Hey guys, it's Justin again. I'm going to show you some cheap and simple tools to get started in Gunpla. Okay guys, so the first and definitely the most important tool in your arsenal is going to be your cutters. These are also referred to as nippers. These are what you use to cut the pieces from the sprue. Using cutters is incredibly straightforward. All you have to do is take the blade and put it underneath the part you're trying to cut out and cut as far away from it as you can without cutting into the actual gate. Using this method will leave you with some very large nubs hanging off of the model piece itself, but that's no worry because you can go back in one more time and use your cutters to cut away the excess. The next tool we're going to talk about is a modeling knife. Now a modeling knife has many uses, such as removing excess nubs from your kit. Please be careful and try not to cut towards yourself. Or removing mold lines, where you can see where the plastic was molded together. You can use your knife to scrape away that excess line and clean the piece up. The last tool we're going to talk about is an abrasive. Now, abrasives come in many shapes and sizes. They come between sandpaper, sanding sticks, or modeling files. The first thing we're going to talk about is sandpaper. Sandpaper is probably the most common abrasive that you find in modeling. This is, I think, a 400 grit sandpaper. It's really nice for removing excess amounts of plastic, and then you can move into higher grits to polish your finish on your model kit. To use sandpaper, all you have to do is find the nub mark where your piece was cut from the sprue. Without applying too much pressure, lightly rub the abrasive over the top of the piece. After just a minute or two, the nub mark will be gone. Most abrasives work the same way. Using sanding sticks, for example, you apply the same way that you would sandpaper. The advantage to using a sanding stick is it tends to be a little bit more rigid, so you don't have to worry about applying too much pressure and rounding your surface off. As long as you work lightly and evenly, your surface should be nice and smooth. The last thing we're going to talk about are hobby files. Hobby files are incredibly nice, but they definitely have some drawbacks as well. The advantage of using a hobby file is if you put it on a nub that's very large and applied next to no pressure, you can completely remove the nub, any stress to the plastic, and keep the surface nice and flush. The drawback, however, is if you apply too much pressure, it's very easy to gouge the plastic and discolor things. It's also really hard to use on curved surfaces, so for something like that, I'd probably recommend using sandpaper or a sanding stick. So those are my 3 tool recommendations for new builders. You can use these for any type of model application, whether it be mecha modeling, car modeling, or even aircraft modeling. There's plenty more tools out there that you can get a lot of use out of, but these are the most essential ones. There you guys have it, my top 3 tools for new builders. I'll be sure to include a link down below so you guys can check out where you can buy these tools for pretty cheap. The cutters and the knife should definitely be very expensive. Abrasive tends to vary depending on what abrasive you choose and where you buy it from, but I'll be sure to link one of each down below. Thanks guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.